Twisted Terrors, now your host, Zomboy.
What is going on, horror fans? Zomboy here. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Twisted Terrors. On this episode, we're going to be talking about 2022's The Black Phone. This movie was directed by Scott Derrickson, comes in an hour 43 minutes, rated R. IMDb has this one rated as a 6.9 out of 10. Letterboxd has this one rated as a 3.3 out of 5. Let me read the plot. Finney Blake, a shy but clever 13-year-old boy, is abducted by a sadistic serial killer and trapped in a soundproof basement where screaming is of little use. When a disconnected phone on the wall begins to ring, Finney discovers that he can hear the voices of the killer's previous victim, and they are dead set on making sure that what happened to them doesn't happen to Finney. Man, if that doesn't give this movie away. I kind of wish they did a little better job on that and just kind of left it to a boy being abducted by a serial killer and kind of let the story unravel a little bit. The cast on this movie, you got Finney, played by Mason Thames, Gwen, played by Madeline McGraw, the Grabber, played by Ethan Hawke, and Max, played by James Ransone. So this movie starts off 1978. There's a baseball game going on. The all-stars of this, you've got Finney. He's pitching an amazing game. At the end of the game, he's pitching against Bruce, who ends up getting a home run and winning the game. On the way home, Bruce sees a black van, and then it cuts. And it flash forwards, I'm guessing a couple years. It's like 1980s. You see there's missing child pictures on the wall for Bruce, so he indeed was abducted. You've got Finney and Gwen, they're siblings. They live with their father, who is kind of very abusive and drunk all the time. And you hear them talking about the Grabber. And apparently there's a lot of children missing, and they trace it all back to a man they call the Grabber. Gwen has a dream about one of the kids at school, that he gets dragged into a black van with a man with black balloons. When she finds out from the police, they want to know how she knew that, because a boy indeed was abducted by a man and they found popped black balloons. They want to know how she knew that. She was trying to tell him it was just a dream. She dreamt about it. Finney at school, he's picked on a lot. There's a lot of bullies after him. One of his friends named Robin, he is the tough kid at school, and he's an exceptional fighter. He ends up fighting a bully. At one point, he goes up to 3 bullies picking on Finney and tells him if they mess with Finney, that he's gonna go after all 3 of them.
Move. Hey, Finn. Wait. With Finn again. I with you. You can leave now.
Unfortunately, after school, Robin gets abducted when he sees a black van and goes missing. And of course, almost the day after, you got Robin's missing, so the bullies are after Finney again, and basically are just beating the heck out of him until his sister Gwen comes in and hits one of them in the head with a rock, and ends up to be a big fight. One of the days after school, usually Finney and Gwen walk home together. On this day, Gwenny's spending the night at a friend's house, so Finney's walking home and he sees a black van.
Wasn't that just peachy keen?
Need some help?
I'm a part-time magician. Would you like to see a magic trick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those black balloons in there?
Yeah.
Finney wakes up in a basement. It's basically a concrete room with a mattress on the floor, a small window with bars on it, a toilet, a giant steel door, and a black phone on the wall. When he goes over to look at it, the cord is cut. Finally, a man enters the room wearing a mask, tells him everything's gonna be okay, nothing bad happens here, and don't think about screaming because no one will hear you. I soundproof this room myself, and you can scream as loud as you want and no one will ever hear you. Phone on the wall rings. Finn goes to pick it up. There's no one there. Hangs it up. The phone rings again. He picks it up and there's a boy on the line.
Don't hang up.
I won't. Who is this?
I don't remember my name.
Why not?
It's the first thing you lose.
First thing you lose when?
You know when.
How do you know my name?
We met once. Your arm is mint. You almost had me.
Bruce? Bruce Yamada?
Yeah. Bruce.
Bruce tells him to look under the loose tile in the bathroom because when he was there, he started to dig a hole. And just to make sure to put the tile back. As soon as he gets off the phone, he goes over there, he pulls the tiles up off the floor, and of course there's a dirt hole under there. He starts to dig. He's digging all night, taking the dirt and flushing it down the toilet. Next scene, Gwen is sleeping and having a dream. She dreams all about a door, and she can see Finn trying to get out of a storm door, but he can't. Finn wakes up to the grabber bringing him breakfast, and when he goes to leave, Finn notices he doesn't latch the door. He walks over there and opens the door a little bit. He could see up the stairs, and the phone rings.
Hello?
Don't go upstairs.
Why not?
It's a trap.
Are you Bruce?
I don't know any Bruce.
Who are you?
I don't remember. I delivered newspapers.
Billy. You're Billy Showalter.
Maybe.
It's a trap. He's waiting up there with a belt. He will beat you till you pass out. Finn gets off the phone and he does start walking up the stairs. Thinks about what the kid said, ends up going back down and shuts the door. Well, the camera pans back up there and it's the grabber. He's sitting in a chair with a giant leather belt, just waiting around the corner at the top of the stairs. Thank goodness he didn't go up there. The phone rings. He picks up the phone and it's a boy, and he tells him there's a crack in the wall on the bottom of the floor and I hid something useful. You should grab it. And so when he gets off the phone, he goes over there and finds it, and he pulls out a pretty good sized rope. So he ends up lashing it around the bars on the window and crawling up to the window, and he's trying to open the window when the bars fall off the window. Gwen's having more dreams. Every dream she's having is getting her closer to recognizing this house. She ends up talking to her dad about her dreams, and he tells her when her mom was alive, she used to have dreams as well that used to come true. Gwen talks him into going and driving around the town, and she's looking at all the doors, seeing if she recognizes them, but she cannot find the house. Finn walks up again, and he sees a boy floating over the ground, and he's got blood coming off of his face. It's dripping all over the floor, and he starts just pointing at the phone. So Finn goes over and he picks up the phone, and there's a boy on the phone. He tells him it's almost over because the grabber's brother is onto him. And he tells him about the game that the grabber plays called Naughty Boy. And basically he tells him don't go upstairs, because he wants you to be naughty. And the first step of naughty boy is when you go upstairs and he beats you with a leather belt. The next step, he considers that to win. He moves on to the next step, which is killing you. And basically, if you don't play the game, the grabber can't move to the next step. And then the boy tells him that the grabber is waiting up the stairs again with his belt, but he has fallen asleep. He says, now's your chance to go up there, but my lock is on the door and I can't remember my code, but I carved it in the wall. So he goes over there and he sees a bunch of numbers on the wall, but he doesn't know the order. So the boy tells him, try them all. So in this scene, he goes up there and the grabber's sitting there with his belt and he's sleeping, and he's got to go around the grabber to the door. And it's a really good scene of tension because he's up there adjusting this lock, and right in the background is the grabber, and every time he pulls to try the lock, it makes some noise. And on his third try, the lock opens and the dog starts barking. Jumps in his van and ends up hitting him with his van, knocking him down. He's screaming, and some lights on people's houses start turning on, but the grabber has a knife to his throat and says if he makes any noise, he'll kill him right now. Ends up punching him and knocking him out. Right before hitting him, though, he calls him a naughty boy, so that's not a good sign. He wakes up in the basement again. The phone starts ringing. He picks up. It's a boy, and he tells him today's the day. Gwen is dreaming all about the grabber's house. This time she is able to see an address, and she sees the type of door, the type of house, the tree outside. Cuts back to Finn on the phone, and the boy on the other side is telling him he needs to go grab the backing off the toilet and break through the wall a couple inches above the power outlet. And if he does it in the right spot, he'll come out to a back of a cooler, and he can unscrew the screws and crawl into the cooler to get out of the door. He ends up doing this. He's smashing on this wall all day, gets through, is able to pull the screws out. He crawls in, and he's in this cooler with a bunch of steaks and stuff like that, and he's hitting the door super hard, but he can't get out. So he comes out, and he's just crying on the floor because nothing is working. And the phone rings, and he picks up, and he recognizes the voice right away. It's one of his best friends, Robin. And Robin tells him to quit crying. He needs to fight back. And he says, what I need you to do is take the phone and fill it full of dirt so it weighs a lot. And I need you to learn the lunge, step back, lunge, and swing.
You raise the phone, take a fast step back, step forward, step back, and swing. Again, you raise the phone, take a fast step back, step forward, step back, and swing. Again, you raise the phone, take a fast step back, step forward, step back, and swing. You got it. Now fill the phone with dirt like I told you.
And so he says, well, are you going to be able to call me again? He said, this is the last call, but you need to learn those steps. So he learns the steps. He fills the phone full of dirt, and he's waiting. Cuts to a man named Max. It's actually the grabber's brother. He's living in the house, and he has been researching, trying to help the police find out who the grabber is throughout the movie. And he's looking at his map, and he realizes his house is like the central point to everything. So he ends up going into the basement for the first time, and when he opens the door, he sees Finney, and he can't believe it. And all of a sudden, he gets hit in the back of the head with an axe, and the grabber is back. And now the grabber's mad at Finney because he made him kill his own brother, and he's pissed. So Finney grabs the phone, he starts running, and the grabber falls through the floor under the tiles where he had the big hole, breaks his ankle, and he's got an axe, and he's swinging it. And as he swings, Finney does the lunge, step back, lunge, swing, and racks him in the head. He ends up doing that like 3 times before he ends up wrapping the phone cord around his throat. He's back there strangling him, and then all of a sudden the phone rings, and you can hear all of the children taunting the grabber, telling him this is it, you know, you're going down. And
is for you.
Welcome to the nightmare end of your pathetic little life. You don't have much time. I can't kill you, so Finn is gonna do it for me. Finn's arm is mint!
Finney ends up breaking his neck. And all while this is happening, the police are storming the house because Gwen called the police when she got the address. They're storming the house. They don't see anything in the house, and then they realize on their way out, the fridge is pushed up against a door. So they end up moving the door, going in the basement, and it's just dirt. But there's a whole bunch of graves down there, and they realize they found the burial sites for all the children, but they say this is not where he kills them, just where he buries them. And so you've got all the police, they're locking down the house, and Gwen's sitting outside crying because they can't find her brother. And across the road, out the door, comes Finney from the house right across the road. Ends up the grabber owns both houses. He uses one house to abduct the children and keep them and kill them, and then he buries them in the other house. So Finn tells him that go in the basement. He's in the basement. Gwen and Finn are embracing outside. The ambulance is there checking them out, and then it cuts to school. Finney's back at school, and now everyone knows he's the guy that survived and killed the grabber. And so of course the bullies aren't messing with him, and all the girls are talking about how cute Finney is. And that's the end of the movie. This movie it's a really good movie. Tension's high. The score on this movie is fantastic. The same guy that did the score for this did the score for like The Witch. This one, you know, being an 80s movie, he did a lot more of like synth vibes and stuff like that. So it really helps kind of time capsule this movie to the 80s. But they did a really good job with music in this one. The grabber's mask is awesome. And one thing I didn't mention in this video at all is the mask has interchangeable pieces. And so it's meant to mirror the psyche or the mood that he's in currently. And so at one point, he's got no face at all because he's not feeling anything. He's got no mouth. Next scene, he's got a huge frowny face on because he's upset. Or at one point, he comes in, he's got a giant smile on his face with all these teeth, because he's extremely happy. Another time, he's got the smile on, but he's got no upper, so you can see his eyes. And so the mask is really cool. Also done by Tom Savini, horror makeup legend himself. So the mask looks amazing, and you can just tell it reflects the character's fractured psyche. The acting in this is really good. Ethan Hawke did a great job, and he almost turned this one down because he did not want people to think of him as a killer, but when he read the script, he had to take it on. I really like the aspect of the spirits were helping him, but not in the way he thought. Every time he did something that they told him to do, it didn't work out for him getting out. But at the end, everything played a key role in him getting out of the house. The hole in the ground that he dug, he falls into, and the grate from the window he had down there, which ended up breaking his ankle. The guy had his dog down there. In order for Finney to get out, he had to throw a piece of steak because he got into the cooler. The dog went over there to eat the steak, which gave him a way out. You know, everything played a role. I think he fell into the hole because he had the rope tied between the walls, which caused him to fall into the hole as well. So everything the children told him to do at the end played a major role with him getting out of the situation. And that's what the kids wanted. They wanted revenge against this grabber. Like I said, there's not a ton of jump scares in this movie. It's a different kind of horror. It's a good tension build-up. It's eerie. The kids do get to see them. They're talking through the phone, but sometimes you actually get to visualize them, and they're all bloody and cut up and stuff like that. The visuals are really good in this movie, but I highly recommend this movie. There's a second one coming out soon. If you haven't seen this one, which I hope you have if you're watching this video, otherwise I just ruined the whole thing. But go check it out. Let me know what you thought about this movie, and I will see you on the next one. This is Zomboy, checking out. Bye.
You don't have to be scared, because nothing bad is going to happen here. On that I give my word, Johnny. You like soda? Hmm?